Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy the Cur Dog. This video is on your Monday Night Raw results and birthdays and other wrestling news going around the world. Happy birthday would have been going to Dusty Rhodes, real name Virgil Riley Runnels Jr. He celebrated his 70th birthday. He was born October 12th, 1945. Also, it would have been the birthday of former Mexican middleweight star Emilio Charles Jr. Would have been turned 59. Karen Jarrett turned 43 years old. She was born October 12th, 1972. Rikishi turned 50 on Sunday, October 11th. He was born in 1965. He is the father of Jimmy and Jey Uso, who inducted him into the Hall of Fame. And Taz turned 48 on Sunday. He was born October 11th, 1967. Currently hosts a daily pro wrestling radio show at Play.it. WWE ring announcer Tony Chimmel turned 54 on Sunday. He was born October 11th, 1961. Former TNA wrestler Andy Douglas turned 37 on Sunday. He was born October 11th, 1978. He formerly tagged with Chase Stevens as the Naturals, and then he retired from pro wrestling in March 2010. Former WWF and WCW wrestler Sam Houston turned 51. English wrestler Giant Haystacks, a.k.a. Martin Austin, was born October 10th, 1946, died of cancer on November 29th, 1988, at the age of 52. He had a brief run in the United States as Loch Ness in WCW, and also former CZW regular wrestler Joker turned 32. Also, Rodney Mack celebrated his 45th birthday. Eddie Guerrero was born on October 9th, 1967. He died November 13th, 2005 at the age of 38 of acute heart failure due to underlying atherosclerotic cardiovascular disease. He was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame posthumously in 2006. Japanese wrestler Jun Akiyama turned 46. He was born October 9th, 1969. Stevie Richards turned 44. He was born October 9th, 1971. Recently worked as a Ring of Honor main event match against Jay Lethal. Kerry DeMott, age 20, was killed in a head-on car accident on Saturday in Orlando, Florida. The driver of the other vehicle is hospitalized in critical condition. Police are investigating the accident, according to Orlando Sentinel. Well, she is the daughter of Bill DeMott. My heartfelt condolences go out to their family on the loss of his daughter. Advertised dark match from Raw: John Cena, Roman Reigns, and Dean Ambrose versus Seth Rollins, Bray Wyatt, and Luke Harper. And I couldn't find the results from that dark match main event. Here's a hilarious video of Randy Orton in a movie trailer. Ring of Honor booker Gabe Sapolsky announced that former NXT champion Sami Zayn will appear at the Evolve 49 and 50 events this coming weekend in New York. Both events will be broadcast as pay-per-views. And he teased more details later regarding Zayn's appearances. Zayn has been sidelined since undergoing shoulder surgery in June and has stated on TV that he does not expect to return to the ring this year. Obviously, this is a cool development, a step forward with the heavily rumored WWE and Evolve relationship. The WWE website has acknowledged the legitimate engagement of Rusev and Lana. WWE is also teasing more on the story on Raw, which they will I'll tell you about in the results. And you can also read more at WWE.com. Poor Summer Rae. We saw Rusev agree to marry her last week only if he won a title belt, but either they are all moving to Utah or her storyline near engagement is already done with, over and finished. All Things Wrestling Radio with Dallas Page, hosted by Isaac Wenzel at ATW Radio Tweets on Twitter. Interview available at allthingswrestlingradio.com. Comments and thoughts on being presented in WWE compared to WCW. I always say, who did Michael Jordan play for, the Wizards or the Bulls? Because when I was playing for the Bulls, WCW, we were kicking WWE's butts. But today I'm getting like the best push ever with WWE. I've hosted the last 3 Best of Nitros. I show up on the 1000th episode, and to be welcomed to Old School Raw with just about everybody on the lineup. I think only 2 or 3 guys aren't Hall of Famers. Any comments on thoughts on entrance music not being on the WWE network? It kills me. It was the coolest ring entrance music. Goldberg's was cool. Flair's was eternal. NWO was so sweet. Austin had great music, but no one had music any better than mine. The thing is, WWE didn't buy the music catalogs. If they didn't go and do the network deal where they changed everything, I would pay Jimmy Hart to go back and redo it. TNA has removed the tour dates that were scheduled for the Louisiana dates from October 29th through November 1st. From their live events page listing, TNA has yet to offer an official explanation regarding the cancellation dates. As I previously noted, the company has canceled 4 of the 4 dates. The only show currently on the schedule are the January 29th through the 31st events in the UK. Though there was also expected to be a tour of India added before the end of 2015. Halloween night is still scheduled, according to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, though, and the arena. Wade Barrett told the UK Sun that he would like to enter the WWE Tag Team division. I would really like to go into the tag division, as Barrett said. It isn't something I've done very much in the past. Did he forget his former Nexus? That was a tag team of any of the 3 or 5. I guess you forgot. Pretty much consistently since I've been with WWE since 2010, I've been the bad guy singles wrestler, so I would like to do something a little different. I've always felt like I play off people well, and I was hoping to run with the Stardust. Might last a little bit longer, but going back, I know there's a few guys that are kind of in the doldrums at the moment, career-wise. So maybe pairing up with someone new and trying to go in a completely different direction to what I've done before is the next step for me. And you can read more at thesun.co.uk. Barrett should be a meaningful singles wrestler in WWE, but I'm all for him entering the tag division if it means he will drop the one-dimensional king gimmick and get a real push. Barrett and Cesaro will be a hell of a tag team, though I'm guessing if Cesaro returns to the tag division, he will be repaired with Tyson Kidd once he returns from neck surgery. 2-man power trip of wrestling podcast with Alex Wright, Das Wunderkid from WCW. He went against Sting. He went against Ric Flair for the title when Sting interrupted that and then just disappeared. Changed his name and what have you. Hosted by John and Chad. Interview available at tmptow.podomatic.com. Rumors that helped make Triple H while they worked together in WCW. I wouldn't put it that way that I teached him wrestling. He was a great talent, and I really enjoyed working with him. I knew he was going to make himself a big name in the world of sport or wrestling, but not that he was going to be the boss. If I knew that, I certainly would have kept in touch more than I did now. Actually, I met him last year and talked to him about a lot of stuff with my promotion, and they invited me over to the WWE Performance Center to train with their talent and also see how it is, and I was very happy to be invited, that they invited me over. WCW Power Plant versus Performance Center. When I was at the Power Plant, it was just a factory hall where they just used to put the stuff like old rings and stuff that they just keep. That if they didn't use it, they would put it in there somewhere between all the stuff that there were 2 or 3 rings. They didn't really have showers or stuff like that, but you really cannot compare it to the WWE Performance Center. Performance Center is really top notch and professional, and you get treated very well, and the trainers are really good. At the time in WCW, they had good trainers too, but it was just tougher. I had to run the ropes 8 hours a day, and my back was swollen, and they still said, well, keep going. A lot of people threw up, and it was so hard, and in one side it makes you hard, but on the other side, it was a little bit too hard. Sometimes you got the feeling that they tried to break you. Wanting the trainee to quit, WCW Power Plant, versus how he teaches at his school, the right stuff. Get it right? His last name? That's really bad because you might lose good talent. My wrestling school is a school. You hear it in the word. I try to take the people that come to me and want to learn pro wrestling and take them from that spot and watch the endurance level that they have or the experience level that they have and to teach them from that point on. Of course, I bring them to their physical borders, but I never bring them over it. I try to get the most talent out of the interested wrestling people who come to my school. So then the market grown here, and we have good talent. Working veterans so young in his career, it was truly a dream come true to work guys like Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, Bobby Eaton, and later on, of course, Dean, Eddie, Benoit, and Regal. It was every time I stepped in the ring, I learned so much that I really enjoyed my time then. It's the best way to learn, being in the ring with a veteran who helps you and leads you through the match. You will always learn something new. It was the best thing that could happen to me. Working Brian Pillman and competing in the Super J Cup, it's very sad that he had to go so early. That was a shock for me, and I think I was the first. It was that first incident while I was in WCW where I was shocked about it being such a bad experience. But working wise, he was really, really good. I actually went with Brian to New Japan for the Super J Cup, and that was real good, a real good time. that was pretty tough. Everybody who took part in the tournament was a top-notch wrestler, and I still at the time was only 21, and that is around the time that I met Malenko and Eddie over there. It was really hard, and there were so many skilled wrestlers, very technical, and a lot of impact with less entertainment, but I really did enjoy it over there. I got 2 injuries, but I had to pull through those 6 weeks. Winning the WCW Cruiserweight title, it was always nice to win a title. It shows that the company feels comfortable to put you in that kind of position, and it's a little thank you. It's a very, very nice, and of course I felt very good. I was not after the title. It's nice to have one, but for me the priority was always to have a good match and try to entertain the people in doing my job. It didn't matter if I had a regular match or a pay-per-view match. I always tried to give 100% in a match. Adam Rose posted us a ciphered video, as you can see. If you could decipher it, comment. Dean Ambrose and the Dudley Boys versus WWE Tag Team Champions The New Day in a 6-man action has been announced for this coming Thursday SmackDown. In an update from earlier, Randy Orton and Dean Ambrose versus Braun Strowman and Luke Harper at WWE Hell in a Cell will be the kickoff for the pre-show. Devin Taylor, a.k.a. Brittany Fetkin, and Cal Bishop, a.k.a. Clayton Jack, have been released from their WWE developmental contracts, according to ProWrestlingSheet.com. Taylor worked as a backstage interviewer and also trained as a wrestler. She signed with WWE in 2013. Bishop is a former NCAA wrestler who also started with the company in 2013. Indie wrestler Leva Bates, known in WWE NXT as fan favorite Blue Pants, may be done with the company, as she has returned to Shimmer as well, according to PW Insider. And we'll give you the Shimmer results on the SmackDown video. Word backstage at NXT this week that WWE likely won't be using blue pants anytime soon. It was said that Bates often made comments that rubbed other NXT talents the wrong way, but was never being malicious. She just made mistakes by speaking out about how over her character was and things like that. That bothered some, as her role was to help get other talents over. While Bates was over big with NXT fans, she was never signed to a deal. Top indie women's wrestler Athena has arrived in WWE NXT after much speculation. She made her debut at an NXT Live event in Winter Haven, Florida. She teamed Gianna Daddio and went up against Alexa Bliss and Peyton Royce, but lost. And I think I got some photos for that. Whenever I do the results for that later in this video, I'll post the pictures. Those in attendance said Athena looked great in the ring. Again, I'll show the picture. NXT trainer Billy Gunn was the person who got James Storm in touch with WWE officials. As I made reports last week, with a picture proof of them entering the arena at an event. WWE Games posted a video of Roman Reigns, Ryback, and King Barrett responding to the recent WWE 2K16 challenge by the Terminator, aka Arnold Schwarzenegger. And you can see that in the video. And here's your NXT taping spoilers for the remaining of October. Thanks to In the Building Jacob. Former TNA World Heavyweight Champion James Storm made his NXT debut at this taping as he competed against Danny Burch in a match that aired on this coming Wednesdays on the network. The picture that I will show is not of them two in the ring, but against his other opponent. Dark match from the first taping night from October 14th show. Hugo Knox defeated Alexander Wolf. And now for the October 14th show, Bayley opened up with a promo. She put over her match at TakeOver, Respect, and the Divas Revolution before she was interrupted by Alexa Bliss with Blake and Murphy. Bliss talks about Bayley's match and then snatched the women's championship and says people like Bayley aren't meant to be champions. Match number 1, the Von Villains defeated Angelo Dawkins and Sawyer Fulton. The finish was a bother and they had to reshoot it. Botch, should say. Nia Jax squashed Evie. That's a Shimmer and Shine talent from New Zealand. Apollo Crews won a battle royal to become the new number 1 contender to the NXT Championship. October 21st show. Spoiler, Asuka defeated Billie Kay. Enzo and Cass pinned Dash and Dawson. After the match, Dash and Dawson beat down Enzo and Cass. And your match, James Storm, show a picture, defeated Martin Stone. The pictures will be of James Storm and his entrance. Alexa Bliss defeated Peyton Royce. Showed a picture of that as well. Baron Corbin defeated Rhino. This match was surprisingly long and pretty bad. October 28th, spoiler. Emma defeated Shazza McKenzie. Some more Shimmer Shine talent. Chad Gable and Jason Jordan went over Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. Nia Jax squashed Kaylee Ray. Some more talent from Shimmer and Shine. Dash and Dalton attacked Enzo and Cass while they were making their entrance for a match. Samoa Joe defeated Tyler Breeze. This was a good match. And your main event for that taping was Finn Balor defeating Ty Dillinger. And then WWE taped the following matches from Superstars episode. Adam Rose versus Jack Swagger. Stardust versus Fandango. Xavier Woods was on commentary for this week's Superstar spoiler with Rich Brennan. Stardust defeated Fandango with the Queen's Crossbow. Jack Swagger defeated Adam Rose by submission. Well, the Queen's Crossbow, he must have stole that move from Neville. Raw from Chicago started off with Kane backstage. He had Stephanie McMahon and Triple H on speakerphone. Some type of gimmick they were using. It was like a satellite feed on the voice. They're having some travel issues and a really rough day, as it sounds. And they're leaving Kane in charge and say that they need him to act professional. Well, Triple H says he's counting on Kane and will be in touch later with more instructions. A crew member comes in and Kane orders her to tell Rollins that he has a lumberjack match later on tonight against Kane. That's corporate Kane. Well, then we go to Raw opening video. We go to the ring. Dean Ambrose comes to the ring for a promo. He says the Authority is running late tonight. He welcomes us to Raw and says he's looking for a fight. Randy Orton music hits, and out he comes. Orton reveals that he will be teaming up with Ambrose against Braun Strowman and Luke Harper at Hell in a Cell. There's tension between the two as they don't trust each other. W Tag Team Champions The New Day interrupt. They brag about taking John Cena and Dolph Ziggler out last week. Big E then mocks Cena. He says they did something that the Shield, the Authority, Evolution, and Legacy couldn't do. Orton laughs as they say he gives a new meaning to the word groupie. They make their way down to the ring, but Kane appears on the big screen. He says the inmates aren't running the asylum tonight. He is. As he laughs, he sends a referee to the ring, and we got a match. Big E and Kofi will be in action as Xavier Woods starts on the trombone. More like trumpet. Ambrose and Kofi go at it to start. Kofi gets knocked to the floor with an elbow. Ambrose gets to dive out, but Kofi backs off for a breather. And Orton stands tall with Ambrose as we go to commercial. Back from the break, Orton and Ambrose already in control of Kofi. Big E comes in, but Ambrose unloads for a 2 count. Orton comes back in and drop kicks Big E for a 2 count. And they're just getting tagging each other on the shoulder. Trying to whoop one up on the other. Big E turns it around in the corner, but Ambrose comes back in and they take control. Ambrose mounts Big E with the right hand. In the corner as Ambrose goes to the top rope and nails a missile drop kick and gets a 2 count from there. Orton comes back in and keeps Big E down. Orton stops away and goes to drop a knee, but Ambrose tags himself in and does the same thing. And they're doing the garbage stomp, and even JBL says that's their version of their old stomp from the garbage stomp. Ambrose does Orton's stomps on Big E, and Orton tags himself back in. Orton with more vicious stomps on Big E. Ambrose tries to show up Orton and stomps again. Orton and Ambrose have words as Kofi tags in, but runs into a double team elbow. They send Kofi to the floor, and we go back to a commercial as both guys are arguing. Back from the break, Kofi has Orton down. They unloaded Orton in the corner with stomps and quick tags. Even Big E gets on with a Duke Garver stomp. And then Big E whips Kofi with a drop kick into Orton. They keep Orton down with a double teaming and then tags as Woods plays the trumpet. Orton tries to fight back, but Big E drops him with an elbow. Big E mocks Orton's pose, tosses him out to the floor. Woods hits Orton with a cheap shot while the referee was distracted. Orton gets on the apron, but Big E charges. Orton sidesteps and Big E flies out to the floor. Orton kicks Big E off and tags in Ambrose. Ambrose unloads on Big E and hits a running bulldog. He knocks Kofi off the apron and leaps out onto him. Ambrose pulls the top rope down and Big E hits the floor. Ambrose dives on to both of them. They come back in. Ambrose hits the top rope elbow for a 2 count. Big E catches Ambrose with a belly-to-belly suplex after Woods distracted him. Kofi came back in but misses. And Orton tags in. He unloads on Kofi and hits a power slam. Orton goes for the second rope draping DDT as Ambrose dives out onto Woods. Kofi blocks the DDT but misses Trouble in Paradise. Orton takes him back to the apron on the other side and nails the draping DDT. Orton goes for the RKO, but Kofi shoves Orton into Ambrose, knocking him out to the floor. Kofi gets the pinfall on Orton. After the match, New Day dances away as Ambrose shakes his head at what happened with Orton. We see Kane backstage, waiting on the Authority to call him back. Still to come, Reigns vs. Strowman, Also a preview for Lesnar versus Undertaker. Back to commercial. We'll get a long preview for The Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar in Hell in a Cell. Nikki Bella versus Naomi was up next. We go to the ring as Nikki, Brie, and Alicia make their way to the ring. Back to commercial. Back from the break as Naomi is wrapping up her entrance. She's joined by Sasha Banks and Tamina as we get a look back at NXT TakeOver Respect with Sasha and NXT Women's Champion Bayley. They just show pics. They didn't show who won the match. As we get chants from the crowd. We want Sasha. Well, we're coming back and the fans we're cheering for Sasha. Bell rings, the fans start chanting, we want Sasha again, as Nikki and Naomi go at it. Naomi takes control and goes for a 2 count. Nikki catches Naomi in a big slam as Sasha chants continues. Nikki shows up and covers for a 2 count. Nikki keeps control of Team Bella, cheers her on. Nikki with a shoulder thrust in the corner. Nikki gets a snapmare and a kick to the back. Nikki with a knee to the back. Naomi fought back with knees and slams Nikki, but misses a leg drop. Nikki gets a 2 count. Team Bad looks on as Nikki keeps Naomi down. Naomi fights back with a bunch of kicks and a drop kick. Nikki wastes time and charges, but gets dumped to the floor. Nikki leaps out to the floor, taking down Alicia and Nikki. Brie stands on the announcer's table with a mic and chants, we want Sasha, on the announcer's table in an attempt to cause problems with Team Bad. Sasha runs over and pulls Brie's leg out. While she's on the announcer's table, well, Brie hops out, causing her back to hit the floor instead of on the table. This leads to Nikki taking advantage of the distraction in the ring and nailing the rack attack for the win. After the match, Team Bella retreats as Team Bad helps Naomi back up in the ring. Still to come, Lumberjack main event, which is sponsored by Payday Candy Bars. Also, John Cena will be defending his title. Back to commercial. Back from the break, we see a video of Byron Saxton talking to fans about who is the most unconventional superstar or diva. Most of them say Paige. We get a pre-recorded video of results. A pre-recorded video of Saxton backstage with Paige. She thanks the fans, but says that they didn't give her any recognition in the Divas Revolution. She goes on and pulls a Payday candy bar from Saxton's coat, kisses it, and says victory never tasted so sweet before walking off. We go to ring. Out comes United States Champion John Cena for the U.S. Open Challenge. Cena talks about Chicago and gets popped to the fans in the Allstate Arena, talking about his history there. Cena says that the fans make it special and they deserve excellence. He said tonight they will get excellence and opportunity. Well, I thought when he said excellence, I thought Bret Hart was going to come out for the challenge. He says tonight Chicago is the place to be and John Cena is the man to beat, which got boos from the crowd when they were all against Cena tonight. He kicked off the U.S. Open Challenge, and out comes Dolph Ziggler. This time he actually gets a match. And this was almost the match of the night. Eden Styles does the formal ring introductions as we get ready to go. They lock up and Ziggler applies a headlock. They run the ropes and Cena takes Ziggler down and works on the arm. Ziggler ends up going to the floor for a breather. And Cena takes the mic as the fans are chanting from Daniel Bryan's yes, yes, yes. And they were pointing to a couple in the crowd as a man just proposed to his girlfriend in the crowd, and she said yes. Cena congratulated the couple, and we get back to the match. The fan said she said yes as the man celebrates. Cena drops Ziggler and goes back to the corner and applauded the man. Even Ziggler was up the rampway just a little bit. Ziggler came back and took advantage of and took Cena down. We go to the commercial break. Back from the break, Cena gets out of a sleeper. But Ziggler comes back with a splash in the corner and a neck breaker for a 2 count. Ziggler drops a bunch of elbows on Cena and shows off before missing a 10th elbow. as the quick elbow drops. Cena comes back with a shoulder tackle. Ziggler misses the clothesline and Cena slams him as the fans boo some more. Cena calls for the 5-knuckle shuffle, but Ziggler counters and drop kicks him for a 2 count. Ziggler misses the famouser and Cena hits the 5-knuckle shuffle. Ziggler blocks an attitude adjustment for a 2 count. Then Cena applies the STF in the middle of the ring. Ziggler turns that into a sleeper hold on the mat. A sleeper and a leg wrapped around even to get the pressure on. Cena stands up with Ziggler and turns it around into an attitude adjustment, but Ziggler rolls to the floor, so he cannot be pinned. Cena brings Ziggler back in the ring and covers for a 2 count. Cena takes Ziggler to the top as we get dueling chants. The actual only crowd reaction for Cena this time. Let's go, Cena. Cena sucks. Cena goes for a super attitude adjustment, but Ziggler falls off and jumps back up for a huge DDT. Ziggler with a close 2 count. Ziggler calls for a super kick like Shawn Michaels. But Cena catches it and nails the clothesline. Cena goes for an STF, but Ziggler kicked him off. Ziggler nails a drop kick. Cena catches the splash in the corner and turns it into an attitude adjustment, but Ziggler counters that with a famouser in midair. Ziggler with a close 2 count. Ziggler rocks Cena, but Cena applies the STF again. Ziggler reached the bottom rope and Cena broke the hold. They ended up on top and Ziggler headbutts Cena to the mat. Cena catches the crossbody and rolls through. Cena goes for an attitude adjustment, but Ziggler rakes his eyes. Ziggler with a super kick for a very close 2 count. They trade several big right hands. Cena scoops Dolph up for the attitude adjustment, but slid out. Cena blocked a zigzag. Ziggler went for a headbutt to the face and a zigzag for another close 2 count. And then Cena got the win after Ziggler runs into the attitude adjustment. After the match, Cena and Ziggler were both slow to get up. The referee checks on them. As we go to replay, Cena gets his title and stares Ziggler down as his arm is raised. Thought they were going to have a handshake. Well, they cut. Kane backstage watching. The phone rings and he puts Triple H back on the speakerphone again. They're having more travel issues as we hear Stephanie yelling at a flight attendant. Well, supposedly this flight attendant spilled coffee on her. Triple H has to call Kane back later. They still don't know what the main event is, but Kane told them about Ziggler versus Cena. Still to come, Reigns versus Strowman, back to commercial. Dudley Boys versus the Ascension was up next, back from a break. Out comes Devon and Bubba Ray Dudley. Connor and Victor look on as they were already waiting in the ring. The Ascension attacked the Dudleys while they were preparing to start. But actually, the Dudleys were both looking at them, expecting them for the beat down. They unload on Devon and they double team him. Victor with a big knee. Fan chant for tables as Victor worked over Devon and slams him for a 2 count. Victor kept Devon on the ground as Bubba gets fans to rally. They end up hitting the 3D on Victor for the quick win. Still to come, Kane versus Rollins in the Lumberjack main event. Back to commercial. Sheamus and King Barrett versus Neville and Cesaro. Back from the break and both teams are out. Cesaro and Neville took control early on. Sheamus tags in and trades several big uppercuts with Cesaro. Cesaro with running uppercuts in the corners and a drop kick. Sheamus decks Cesaro and turns it around. Cesaro dumps him to the apron. Sheamus hits his forearm shots to the chest, but Cesaro nails him. Sheamus goes for the battering ram, but runs into an uppercut. Sheamus hits the floor. Cesaro ends up taking Sheamus and Barrett out on the floor with uppercuts. Neville then tags in, and Cesaro launches him out onto Sheamus and Barrett. Neville brings Sheamus back in and rolls him up for a 2 count. Barrett ends up hitting Bullhammer while the referee isn't looking, and Sheamus gets the pin on him. We're getting a video package of Braun Strowman. Still to come, Braun versus Roman. Back to commercial. Back from the break, Michael Cole plugs Xavier Woods up, down, down. YouTube Jet Gaming channel. Roman Reigns versus Braun Strowman. We go to the ring and Roman Reigns makes his way out through the crowd. Reigns takes a mic and gives a shout out to Chicago. He says the beef between he and Bray Wyatt has to do with the WWE World Heavyweight title. And talks about how Wyatt stopped him from winning Money in the Bank. Fans have been giving him the what treatment as he asks if they're having trouble hearing him or not. He goes on and talks about their feud. A boring chant breaks out. And Reigns says, this isn't boring. It's real life. Reigns talks about how he does this for his daughter's future. Reigns says he's going to rip Wyatt apart at Hell in a Cell. Reigns continues a lengthy promo until the music hits and Braun Strowman is out with Luke Harper and Wyatt. Wyatt stops on the stage and cuts a promo on Reigns. They have words and the music hits again, and as Wyatt tells something to Braun, sends him to the ring back to commercial. Back from the break, Strowman overpowers Reigns to start off the match. Reigns comes back and ends up mounting Braun with right hands in the corner. Not selling it, Braun sends him to the mat and rams him from corner to corner. Braun with knees and elbows in the corner as Wyatt and Harper look on from ringside. Braun with a big clothesline. Strowman continues to overpower Reigns and beat him around, talking trash. Reigns tries for a Samoan drop but can't even pick him up. Strowman nails a big boot that sends Reigns to the floor. Reigns fights back, hitting Strowman from the floor as he leans over the middle rope. Reigns nails 2 drive-bys to put Braun on his knees. Goes for another. Cuts him off with a huge clothesline. Reigns turns it back around on the floor, slams Braun's face into the announce table. Harper runs over, but Reigns drops him with a Superman punch. Reigns hits a Superman punch on Braun, sending him over the announce table. Reigns comes back in, wins by count out. After the bell, Braun gets upset and starts throwing stuff. Wyatt is also pissed off and orders them into the ring, but Reigns slides out as all 3 enter. Reigns stares back at the ring as Wyatt talks trash. Wyatt tells him to follow the buzzers, but Reigns decks him in the face. Reigns' music hits, he leaves as he makes his exit. Kane's backstage again when Triple H calls. He and Stephanie are headed to the arena this time. Triple H is having some reception issues and can't make out who Rollins' opponent is for tonight's Lumberjack match. Main event as we go to commercial. Ryback versus Rusev was up next. Back from the break, and we get a look back at Summer Rae proposing to Rusev last week. Coleslaw talks about how Rusev and Lana's real-life engagement happened. Summer Rae was at ringside with Rusev tonight, and Ryback awaits. They go at it, and Ryback takes control. Rusev turns it around, and Ryback misses a spear in the corner. Rusev works Ryback over and sends him into the ring post. Rusev works on the arm and keeps Ryback down. Ryback tries to come back, but Rusev cuts him off. Ryback comes back with shoulders and a big tackle. Ryback with a big backdrop. Ryback gets a quick Phoebe Moore chant going and hits the big hook clothesline. Rusev slides out of a shell shock and hits a super kick for a 2 count of his own. With his feet on the ropes. As the referee sees this, Rusev argues with the referee about his feet being on the ropes. And then Rusev misses a splash in the corner and Ryback nails shell shock for the win. After the match, Ryback takes his title and leaves. As we go to replays. Summer comes in to check on her Ruru and calls him her sweetness. Didn't know. Well, this report says Ryback takes his title. Well, he doesn't have a title as Owens has a title. Well, Summer come back in to check on her Ruru and calls him her sweetness. She could have done this in the back, but says she wants the whole world to know the real man he is to her. She shows us the TMZ article about Rusev and Lana being engaged. She's upset that Rusev didn't tell her that she had to find out online. She says that this shows her exactly the kind of man Rusev is. She calls him a whipped little boy. Summer thanks him because she will never waste any more time on a narcissistic, egotistical, jealous, lying bastard. She sats him and gets a big pop. Summer drops the mic and storms off. Rusev yells at her as she walks to the back. Still to come segment, our Lumberjack main event. Match commercial, Calypso versus Kevin Owens back for the break. The Lucha Dragons make their way to the ring. Intercontinental Champion Kevin Owens is out for a non-title match. We see Owens beating Sin Cara and attacking Kalisto last week. The bell rings and Owens misses. Kalisto goes to work with kicks. Kalisto with a scissor takedown, but Owens comes right back with a huge clothesline. Of course, the bigger man always gets the upper hand. Owens unloads on Kalisto and slams him before hitting the senton. Owens talks trash to fans and coleslaw. Owens with right hands. Kalisto fights back with kicks, but Owens drops him. Owens talks trash some more, and Kalisto kicks him in the face. Kalisto charges, but Owens dumps him out to the floor. Owens runs the ropes and teases the dive, but stops. Rolls out and levels Kalisto anyways. Owens mocks the Lucha chants and rolls Kalisto back in. Owens talks trash to Sin Cara. Kalisto kicks Owens and leaps out, but Owens dumps him on his head. Owens brings it back in for a 2 count. Owens ends up going for the pop-up powerbomb, but it's blocked. Kalisto makes a comeback for a 2 count. Kalisto planted Owens on his face for a 2 count. More offense and a big DDT by Kalisto for a 2 count. Owens runs into a boot. Kalisto goes up top and comes down, but Owens catches him with a pop-up powerbomb for the win. After the match, Owens goes to the floor and grabs his title. He raises it up to the announcer table. Owens will go to replays. Owens raises the title on the stage and calls this the Kevin Owens Show. Still to come, Lumberjack main event, back to commercial. Charlotte and Becky Lynch versus Brie and Alicia. Back from the break, Paige is on commentary for this match as Becky Lynch and the Divas Champion Charlotte wrap up their entrance. Team Bella looks on. Back from the break, Paige is on comment. Brie and Becky starts things off. Becky takes control early on. She goes on and Charlotte tags in for some double teaming. Brie nails Charlotte and knocks Becky off the apron, but turns around to chops from Charlotte. Charlotte unloads and hits the neck breaker. She knocks Alicia off the apron and spears Brie to a pop. Charlotte goes for the figure 8. Nikki and Alicia get on the apron. Natalya comes over to stop them, but Paige gets up and has words with Natalya. Paige shoves Natalya into the apron and Brie kicks her in the back of the head. Natalya goes down and the match ends with Brie hitting a missile drop kick on Charlotte for the pinfall. Kane's backstage on the phone with the Authority. They have reception now, and they're not happy with Kane putting himself in a match against Rollins. Triple H orders Kane not to go out for the main event, but this is corporate Kane. He has to go and tells Kane not to screw this up. Kane understands and walks off. Back to commercial. Back from break, and Rollins is backstage kissing up the Big Show and hopes that he will help him in the main event. Show laughs at him and says that he has a great sense of humor. Show walks off. Corporate Kane walks up and says Triple H has just informed him that he cannot be in the main event. Kane tells Rollins not to worry because he will find a suitable replacement as Kane walks off. Corporate Kane walks off. We get another video for Lesnar versus Undertaker. And we get your main event, Lumberjack match, Demon Kane versus Seth Rollins. We go to the ring and more than 20 superstars fill the ringside area. Back to commercial. Back from the break. Demon Kane is revealed as the opponent. They brawl back and forth with the Lumberjacks getting involved. One point, Rollins tried to run away, but Cesaro brought him back in from the crowd. Kane ended up going down as Big Show nailed him with a knockout punch outside the ringside. The show walks off, leaving only 19 guys as the Lumberjacks. Rollins brings it back in for a 2 count. More back and forth with Rollins taking control. Rollins goes to nail a big knee from the top for a 2 count. The Lumberjack brawl breaks out the ringside when the New Day pulls Kane out and stomps on him. He wasn't but like 4 or 5 inches from the apron anyways, as all 3 of them pulled him out. This leads to the New Day and other heels bringing Kane back in the ring. Kane then stops their beat down and the babyface Lumberjack come in for another big brawl. as it's Big E trying to do something on Kane. Kane ends up trying for a pedigree after the chaos, but Kane gets the win. Anyways, Raw goes off the air with Kane. Kane got the tombstone on him as he countered the pedigree. As Raw goes off the air with Kane standing tall. And I did not, like I said, I did not get the Dark Match main event results for that. So, thanks again. Peace out. See you when I'm going to be. And by the way, if you don't know, you better call me, bro.